If you've played the finals for more than a day, you know how frustrating some of the interactions between different classes can be. From being one-shot by a shotgun, to being tased by an invisible man and killed before you can say a word. We've all been there, and if you haven't, well, you should watch this video twice to save me some troubles. Hi, I'm Crazy, and in this video, I'm going to be going over how to counter every class in the finals. Starting with the light class, some universal counters, meaning all classes can use these, are using your numbers. With the light build having the least amount of health in the game at only 150, they're very easy to take out with some headshots or focus fire. Next is to not chase them while they have the vault. With all the movement abilities the light has, it's better not to chase them long distances. You're better off meeting them at the objective or cutting them off. And finally, the most important tip is listening for the invisibility sound cue. The cloak is by far the best and most important and used ability by the lights. This is the noise you'll hear while they're cloaked. And this is the noise it makes as they're leaving cloak. Pay attention to these sound cues and watch your back, as that's the light's best way for getting kills. Next is some ways to counter a light as a light. For starters, the stun gun gets the most value, giving you a free kill on opposing lights 99% of the time. Wait, oh god, no, not 99.9. Oh jeez, sorry about that guys, I'm not sure what that was. Alright, where were we? Right, how to counter light as a light. Some great weapons you have are the pistol and the shotgun. The shotgun can do a maximum of 180 damage, giving you a big chance to one-shot other lights at close range. And the pistol melts, giving you a 3 to 5 shot kill at any range. Some other counters you have is your health. With the same health pool as other lights, don't be afraid to take them in straight up fights if you feel confident you have better aim than them. Moving on to some counters a medium has, your sonar grenades are by far your best option. As I mentioned earlier, most lights are using cloak, and sonar grenades are its biggest counter. Speaking from experience, as I've played light the most, a well-placed sonar grenade makes me useless, and extremely hard to get the jump on your opponent while being detected. Some other counters medium has for lights are its mines and turrets. Most mines will one-shot the light, and turrets can shoot through the light's cloak, making it a very useful defensive ability. Lastly, using your defib is very important, as it's very hard for lights to 2v1 when staying tight to your teammate. And finally, moving on to counters a heavy has versus a light. A good heavy is the light's worst nightmare, as its whole kit pretty much hard counters lights. First and most obvious is the health difference. Get close to lights and do your damage. They should never kill you in a straight up fight as long as you don't miss your whole clip. The shotgun is your best bet, but the Lewis gun is also a great choice. Next is the explosives you have at your disposal. From an RPG to C4s, these will destroy lights before they can even blink. The heavy's bubble shield is also extremely powerful against lights, as by the time they get close enough, you'll have had enough time to get good damage down or even kill them. One last thing I recommend is not using your mesh shield when you don't have your teammates behind you, as a light can get behind you relatively easy with its abilities. Alright, moving on to how to counter a medium. The mediums class is a great support class, making it very important to focus early into fights. If you see an enemy medium healing up his teammate, try to get an angle on them and shoot them without being exposed to their teammate. Some other tips against countering mediums are to not shoot its gas mines if possible. These do a ton of damage and the gas will linger for a long time. Some ways to counter the traps if they do go off are throw a smoke or pyro grenade on the gas, as this will almost instantly get rid of the gas. And finally, disabling a medium's turrets is very important, as these guys will wreak havoc if left unchecked. It's easier for a light, but try to get behind these turrets and take them out that way, or if you're light, use your glitch grenades, as this will work great. Onto some tips a light has for countering mediums, and again, the stun gun is a great option as this completely disables a medium's abilities and most importantly, the defib. Try to focus on hitting a stun as a medium's trying to res. This will lead in a free kill and a huge revive denial. The glitch grenade is also a great option as it disables all abilities and gadgets for a decent amount of time. And finally, the XP54 is the best weapon for a light for killing mediums in my opinion. With your scope so you can compete out range to a big mag and good DPS, the XP54 is definitely your best bet. Now, onto the mirror matchup. A medium fighting another medium doesn't have too many advantages really other than skill in a straight up 1v1. Other than that, make sure you're sticking with your teammates as a medium is best when close to his team. Try to focus out a medium if he's separated from his team as they don't have much movement besides the jump pad and maybe a zipline, both of which you can take to chase. Some great weapons you have are the AKM and the revolver. although if there are a lot of lights in your lobby, I don't recommend the revolver. And finally, the heavies options. Starting with the shield, the mesh shield is actually better than the bubble in these situations, as like I mentioned, mediums don't have great movement, making it very hard for them to get behind your shield before dying to your teammates or you. Next is using your C4s on explosive barrels. A nice aimed throw will lead to a free kill on a medium, as the barrel's damage combined with the C4 is enough to take out a medium with ease. My last tip for heavies to kill mediums is to get as close as possible. Most of the medium's weapons excel at range, making it very important to not get caught out in the open by a good medium. Use buildings, jump pads, and ziplines to close the gap and do your damage. Alright, and finally, we have some ways to counter heavies. Starting us off, a great tip to counter heavies is always aiming for the head. With such a big hitbox, mixing some headshots in will greatly reduce your time to kill when facing these big guys. Practice aiming for the head against these guys and you'll start winning a lot more straight up 1v1 fights. Next, I recommend trying to focus fire him and his bubble shield if possible. The bubble shield only has 300 HP in the latest patch, making it easy to take out with one clip of most weapons. If ever in a strong position and heavy tries to go for a steal in his bubble, simply focus fire him with one other teammate and you should have enough bullets between the two of you to take him and his bubble down. When faced against a heavy as a light, it's crucial to keep your distance and not take straight up fights, because if you don't, well, you better pray they miss a whole lot of shots. Try using your abilities to get different angles and take them out with multiple clips. The shotgun, pistol, and XP54 are great options, as the shotgun can two-shot at close range, and the pistol and XP54 do great damage at medium range. I also recommend pushing their mesh shield with your abilities if they're weak. Mesh shield makes it very hard for heavies to move, making it an easy way to get behind them for a free kill. Moving on to some counters mediums have, like I mentioned in the medium segment, a good medium can easily kill a heavy out of position, making positioning a very important part of your success as a medium. Know where the heavies are and shoot them from range. Use your jump pad and ziplines to create distance and light them up from there. Next, I recommend using your defib mid-fight if possible. Like I just said a minute ago, focus fire will give you much more success when faced against heavy. With their large health pool of 350, the average player will have a hard time taking out a healthy heavy by themselves. Make sure you're staying tight with your teammates and your chances of survival will be much greater. Okay, and finally, we have tips for heavies when faced with the mirror matchup. Similar to the mediums mirror matchup, the main difference in 1v1 here will be skill. Although if you're using the shotgun and they're not, you have a much better chance, as the heavy's shotgun can 4 to 5 shot in close range. Another tip I have is to use 2 C4s on an explosive barrel, as with all 3 of these combined it adds up to almost 500 damage, making it very easy to take out heavies. The last tip I have for heavies is to use your mesh shield. That way, your teammates can shoot back enemy heavies without the risk of them being shot back or blown up. Pay attention to your surroundings and make sure you're in front of your mates, as this is your job, to tank and to shoot for them. Alright guys, these are all the tips I have for you today. I really hope this video helped you out, and if it did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. I'll be making more finals content in the future, so watch out for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!